Good evening, YouTube. Here to talk to you tonight about, well, ultimately it's going to be transference and how we perceive things falsely in other people through our own securities. But first, I wanted to let you all know about something that's going on up in the playlist. So I have started putting out some faceless videos simply because I can't find the information that I in particular am looking for. So I am putting out financial videos in the playlist so that y'all don't get hoodwinked by the investment stock guru bros. These jackasses have no idea what they're talking about. They're sailing a ship in the dark, and every now and again they find a port and everybody thinks they're fucking genius. Most of the time, they sink below the waves and nobody sees. What I'm putting up will keep your money safe and growing. It's not sexy. It's not ritzy. But then again, nothing we're doing here is sexy and ritzy. You know, unless, of course, you want me to put up a playlist about what women like and how to have a bit of game. I don't know if you'd take that advice from me, but, yeah, maybe. Anyway, go up to the playlist, or not, just so long as you understand that the faceless videos are being put up for your benefit to use as you see fit. If you're not at the stage where you're looking into financials and stuff yet with your life, no problem. They're there when you need them. All right. Now, on to the main topic. So, we have a tendency to see in other people our insecurities about ourselves reflected on them. And what that is transference. What you are seeing most likely is not there. I'm going to give you a very, very, very hard lesson that people do not get for much of their life till they get quite a bit older. The people around you, they don't care. They're not thinking about you. The person on the train didn't look at you with disdain. The person on the train looked at you and at that exact same time got a beam of light in his eye, and or saw something over your shoulder, like a place that he used to live where he had this horrible breakup, and goes, and we don't even bat an eye. What the fuck is wrong with that man? What did I do to him? He doesn't approve of me somehow. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. I don't know. Maybe it's because of my haircut. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. Most likely, it has nothing to do with you. I didn't realize this until I burnt myself many times by going, hey, what's your problem? And having people go, I don't have one, but apparently I do now. So I basically just borrowed trouble. But if you apply Occam's razor to it, the simplest answer is usually the correct one. The simplest answer is it has nothing to do with you. What you're seeing is your own insecurities reflected back to you. And you're laying them on this other person. So we need to get down to the core of what those insecurities are. Why do we feel them? Why do we have this default that we go to? I can tell you what part of it is. Part of it is biology. We are human beings. Human beings are animals. Whether you believe in creation or you believe in Darwin or You believe that we got dropped off here by space aliens. Regardless, we're going to go with the simple through line of human is animal. There are tons of other animals here. We're top of the food chain. Why? We don't have claws. We're not particularly strong. We're sure as shit not particularly fast. Not great swimmers, not great jumpers. The animal world has us in size, in lethality, and everything else. But the one thing they don't have us in is this. We have gigantic computer processing power in our cranium. With that comes some problems. Overthinking. We give way to instinct way too much and overthink everything. We have a tendency to get lost in our own. And that is because if you follow the through line of animals and evolution, we come from primate species. Primate species are one of the most self-involved species. We're curious, but we're also very self-reflective. If you look at like a gorilla or a chimpanzee being taught things, they're a very self-reflective creature. They are not just mimicking or imitating. They are actually processing. There's video, for instance, of an orangutan that comes over to a cage edge, a glass edge, and starts pointing at the human being, the dad, holding a baby, and starts doing this, and starts doing this, and starts doing, this, indicating he wants to see the baby. It was clear to me that he wanted to see the baby. And then he got uber excited when he got to see the baby. So happy. That is also a higher functioning brain. Did you know they can get mental illness? Most other animals can't. They can suffer depression. Dogs, sometimes it's iffy. Might be depression, might be dedication to a pack mate. It's unclear. But clinically, it can be shown that primates get depression. Why? Because they have large brains and they can, within a degree, I'm going to step out on a limb here, within a degree, they can reason. They're self-aware. They know they are them. They see their reflection and they don't bark at it. They don't pound at it. They don't attack it. They're curious about it. They start touching themselves, touching the reflection, and they are able to intuit and understand. It's the same sort of problem we have, only extrapolated out. We see our insecurities written across the faces of other people quite often. We attribute to loved ones hurt that we know by Occam's razor they wouldn't cause us. We attribute to loved ones words that cut that aren't meant to cut, but we make them cut through our own insecurities. So these are things that will hold you back, but as long as you're aware of them, you can identify them. So the first thing you have to ask yourself when that thought hits your head is it true? I don't know. It might be. There have been times where people have looked at me and went, In fact, there was one time I had come off a landscaping job. I had been working damn hard because it was for the parade of homes in the metro area, Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And I was working out in Edina. It's a very, very high-end place. Very expensive. Lots of rich people. And my garden was one of 7 that was going to be toured as a final, because we had won last year, so we had automatic entry into the upper echelon of the tour. So obviously this is something that could bring me hundreds of other jobs. So yeah, I worked my ass off on it. And I was in a good headspace at the time. So I hit Home Depot because I needed a few things to finish up. I'm walking through, and this girl comes by me with her husband, and they look like they're straight out of the pages of Vogue. I mean, it's like, what the hell are you doing in a home improvement store? You need to be in Prada. And she goes, looks at me, and I said, sorry, honey, it's the smell of work, and I kept on walking. That felt really good. Was a little sexist. Was I a bit of an asshole? I could have probably contained myself a little bit better. But I accurately identified. But more often than not, you will be wrong. So, older me, 20 years older than me, goes, maybe hold off that opinion because you know that you're in the right. So even if, who gives a shit? You look like everybody else there. They don't. So who's the odd one out? Who's the outlier? You got to come to terms with who you are. And yeah, you're going to have insecurities. I have insecurities right there. There's a good insecurity, I have insecurities. I will probably always have insecurities, but I know that they're mine. They're not somebody else's shit being imposed upon me. Because when you think there's somebody else's shit being imposed upon you, well, then what do you do about it? Get bitter, probably. People suck. World sucks. Life sucks. My grandfather gave me an old adage. He was a World War II vet, and he didn't brook any bullshit, but he was a wonderful man. He said, when you wake up and you meet an asshole, when you go out into the world, that's just the way it is. You met an asshole. But if you meet an asshole in the morning and another asshole getting coffee at mid-morning, and then a guy is an asshole to you at lunch, and you meet another asshole before you head out the door, you might want to apply Occam's razor to that, because it's quite likely you're the asshole. That sticks with the insecurities too. People are too busy about their own lives to really give a shit what you do, who you are, what you look like, unless it intrudes upon them. If they have to judge what you look like because you're wanting to get a date, well, you put yourself there. Good on you for swinging high. Sorry you missed. But if it's not something specific, if they're not needing to assess you to do business with you or something along the lines of that, they have no reason to reflect back to you what you're feeling, which means likely it's internal. Take a moment. Consider. Let logic take over. Then, if you want to, address it. Be like, why did I feel that? What was that insecurity that attacked me all of a sudden? And what am I going to do about it? You might not do anything about it other than recognize that it's there so that next time you can dismiss it all the quicker. Yeah, I know you're not a fan of me, little portion of my head who's fucking with me, so go away. I have other things to do right now. We can mull this over at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep. So, in conclusion, like I said, people are too busy with their own lives to mess with yours. People are too busy with their own lives, by and large, to judge yours. So use Occam's razor, use logic, and use that finger. Press the like button. Press the subscribe button. I'd really like to build this community, and it's going real slow, but I'm going to continue to be dedicated. Y'all have a lovely evening. I'll see you next time.